Hello everybody, CW here. I got some stuff. I got some more stuff. First off, I got to upgrade. I picked this up on Amazon. Microphone, supposed to have really good range. We're using it now. I got it all charged up and I think it's working. Hopefully it is. I'll know when I edit this video. But hopefully it works good. Hopefully it gives us better footage. Hopefully it makes better videos. I know one of the last videos I did, it really had some bad audio going back and forth with the reloading. Generally, my videos are like this, and my face is just inches away from my camera. Overhead views and on the bench like this, and its sound is perfect, no problem. But when I step away from the camera, things happen. So I've got another order coming in that I bought, stuff I bought, and it's just bullets. This one, shout out to Midway. I just placed this order on Wednesday because they gave me a holler that this was in stock. I've been waiting for these since I did the 3006 video back last summer. And I grabbed another 100 of them because I was getting low. And now I'm good. I got 200, I think. That'll be enough for that. So this is one that I bought myself off eBay. These are the adapters for the Pachmeyer forends for the contenders. They get a lot of money for these things. Scary. I mean, a lot. It's just a piece of extruded aluminum. There's nothing to it. And they're huge dollars. So I watch them. Whenever I find them under 40 bucks, I grab one. I got a bunch of barrels. So that was the case here. I put it in my basket and they sent me an offer, so I grabbed it and took it. This is the first brand new one that I've ever bought. All the rest of them have been used. I get them 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that. But they go for like 60, brand new. It's way too much money for what it is. But if you use the Pachmeyer forends, you need these. So I bought that. So there's those two. And I was talking with Ricky, 6-gunner, Texas 6 there. And we've always looked for scopes on here, on eBay. And this one here came up. And it looked pretty good. And there was no bids on it. And it's got just a couple of marks here. Like schma, I don't know. Probably was mounted on a gun for a while and just needs to be wiped off. But it looks good. The glass looks good. It arrived just before it got dark, so I couldn't really check it out really good. But it's a Redfield 2.5 power pistol scope, and the glass looks pretty clean. It's got a smudge on the front lens, so I'll get that clean. But it looks pretty good, and I just got to decide what I want to do for optics, because now we've got choices here for the new barrel. And do some housekeeping here. We got more choices. I've got a couple of bases. So this is the Leopold. This is a Leopold base. This is a nice base. This is a Bueller base. I'm really thinking of using this one. It's just a nice base. And then I've got this Redfield base, triple ring. And I don't think I need it. Plus it checks in. I think I'm going to save it for a carbine barrel. There's a couple of good sized calibers that I'd like to get in carbine. Maybe I'll save it for that. But the other thing, and the big thing for this, well, let me finish here with the scopes. We got a 2 3/4 power Burris. This is actually a intermediate rifle scope, intermediate eye relief, but it works good in a pistol, especially a contender, because a contender doesn't really stretch out as far as a regular pistol does. and this works really well. And then I've got another intermediate rifle scope. This is a 1-power Nikon, and it works really good on a contender for the same reason, because it doesn't have that long eye relief that pistol scopes do. Oh, some pistol scopes do. This one is a pistol scope, but it's old school. It's a nice eye relief, so it works good. So they're all virtually identical. I just got to pick one to be used on here, and this is the main reason for the video. I found this on a forum. I talked to the guy a few times. Super nice guy. And I bought it. It's a 10-inch 357 HERRETT. I don't know if it'll focus. There we go. It's a really nice shape. It's an older barrel because it has the solder on front sight. And maybe some of you guys that know contenders better than me, hopefully maybe Curtis is watching. But if any of you guys know for sure, you can enlighten me. I believe this is a Super 14 sight. I don't think this came on 10-inch guns. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know the 14-inch guns had a different front sight, a ramped front sight, and my HERRETT 357 HERRETT 14 has that front sight, and I think it should have come with this rear sight. And I'm just curious to know if you guys know. It's going to come off. I'm not going to sell it. I'm going to save it. Nothing's for sale. But it's going to come off and a scope's going to go on. So it'd be nice to know if this is intended for the Super 14. I know it works on here. That's not my question. But I think it was only offered for sale on the 14-inch barrels. But I don't know, and I was looking for clarification to see if somebody knew that. But there we go. So let's pull this off and put the base on and get the scope mounted up. Okay, here's a tip. Giving you this one a number of times. Pick yourself up some of this thread locker. It's really best used on really tiny screws because it never really locks up hard, but it works really good to resist loosening. But you can use it everywhere. If you watch Ricky's channel, Texas 6 there, he's on the Friday Night Chats with us. You could even use this on scope rings and things where you normally probably wouldn't use a thread locker, because it's that it works that good. It doesn't set up hard. It's not like glue. It's gummy. The best I can describe it is they had this stuff when I was a kid, you could blow up and make balloons out of it, and that's the closest I can find to describing what it is. It's really sticky, almost like molasses. It's a little expensive, but you buy a tiny tube, it's not so bad. And the second tip, because this one came through, it was missing a screw. So I had to go through my pile of screws and find a screw. And of course it was a little bit long. So when you're putting on a base, doesn't matter if it's brand new or not, when you're putting on a base, number one, never set the screw. In other words, don't put one screw in out of 4. Put one screw in and sock it down and then expect to put the rest in. Put it in, put it all the way in and sock it down and move your base. See if it is going to be tight enough, short enough, long enough, the correct length to lock down your base. So put it on and turn it down tight. See if your base moves. If it doesn't move, back it off a little bit so that the whole base is loose. Put the next screw in. Do the same thing. Screw it in, screw it all the way down, and start with opposing ends. Start with screws farther apart and then work into the middle. So farther apart and then work together. And do the same thing with each one. So screw it in, screw it all the way down tight, and check to make sure that the base does not move when it's tight, and then back it off. Once you get them all in, you'll tell right away. And what I found was that front screw was way long. I pulled it in, I screwed it in, screwed it all the way down, tightened it up, and the base was loose. So I went over, this is a magnetic rod. I've shown you this before. I got it at Harbor Freight and stuck a 1/4 inch natural rare earth magnet inside there. And it works great for picking up screws, for working with things. It holds the screw on really, really tight. I put it in there. I hold my finger on it. I went up against my fine stone grinding wheel and just zzz, 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 reduced the length of the screw, ran it on the wire wheel, and then ran it in and checked it. And that was enough to just take a few thousandths off the end, and now it's perfect. I went in and tightened all these down, and now we're good to go. And I did go with the Buhler. I decided to go with that Buhler base. Now I need to decide on a optic. Don't know. I've got to decide. It's time. I like them all. I think any of them will be fine additions for this. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm really torn. I don't think I want to use the Burris 2 3/4. I think I'm going to hold on to that. But a 1X, I mean, it basically is, use this in place of iron sights as we get older, because it's easier to see the scope, but there's really no magnification, the same as your eye. So this is just like using open sights, except most of us as we get older, we can see the reticle really good. This one here is a 2.5 power. You know, shit and a fart difference between these two. But I'm kind of leaning towards the Redfield. So let me do that. I'll put the Redfield on here, and we'll move forward with that. I'll put you in speeding mode. Stand by. Well, now that I've got it on here, I've got the exact same problem. I can't quite get it far enough forward, and this base would be a little bit worse. So I was hoping that this being a little bit longer pushed it forward a little bit. You could say I could spin it around, and I guess that could be done, but this is the way it's designed to go on. You can see the step here, and it runs up with the end of the barrel, and Buhler is written correctly. You know, all the lettering is correct. This is the way it's supposed to go on the gun. Yes, it could be spun around. It would still work, and it would gain me maybe 1/8 of an inch. So it's not enough to really worry about. I'm going to kind of pull this scope back off, and I'm going to go with the Nikon. I'll just save this for another barrel or another application. All right, I'll pull it back. There we go. That's much better. I would prefer the other scope, just for, you know, it's an older barrel, older scope, but this is a really nice Nikon. It's a Buckmaster's version. But it's a good one, and it's been a solid scope. It's actually been living on a 12 gauge, so it's going to be a welcome addition over here. A little bit of schma on the end of that objective, but I got to get a thing for it. And this came with a 4-end. This is the old style 4-end, but somebody went and drilled it out. It's supposed to have a black escutcheon in there, and an edge, and it looks like they ran a bolt through and then put this eyesore in there. So it works, but it's not right. But we're probably going to run the Pachmayr 4-end on it. But there we go. Let's see if I can put my collimator on here. Shown you this before. This is a Bushnell, but they make a Leopold too. Where's my Leopold? There's my Leopold magnet. Does the same thing, and you just look through it, and you line up off the center of your bore. As long as you're bore is square, it works. So you just put it in the middle, and you hope for the best. Smack in the middle. No idea if that's where we're going to be, but that's what we do. All right. It's a little high. Make it a little bit low. Put it right in the center. There we go. There we go. Let's hope that this microphone is working. I don't want to have to do this whole video all over again. I could dub in over it, I guess. But let's hope that it works. The cap's on wrong. Real nice scope. Real nice scope. Okay. So there we go. I got to the range today with the other Maximum. The other 357 HERRETT. So now we can do a sizing video with this one. Let's do one last thing. You bugger. I dropped my snake. My cleanest snake. I got a rack over here with hat pins, hat pegs, and I got all my snakes on it. So this is not a really good clean, but it does have a brush on it, and it will take any schma and dust and whatever's in the barrel off. And it's very, very, very clean. I don't know if you guys can see through the barrel there. Let's see if I can get something white that you can look through. Yeah, you can see through that. Nice and clean inside there. There we go. So, look forward to this. We had a pretty nice day today. I was surprised. We've been having some super cold weather, and we actually had some halfway decent weather. It was rainy and nasty and wet and damp, but it wasn't too awful cold. So that part pleased me. I was able to get to the range. So we got a couple of extra scopes, and we've got another barrel to add to the stable. Very good. Very, very good. There we go. All right. That's about it. Clean up my mess. Today's actually a Friday. I'm going to go get ready for the chat. Chat's on in a couple hours. I got time to take a shower and get gussied up. See you all on the chat. I hope you can make it. Friday nights, Georgia Shooting Channel, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We talk about all kinds of stuff. Tonight, we're going to talk about subsonic hunting loads, I believe. I know subsonic, but I think hunting loads. Sorry, I was thirsty. All right, here we go. God bless everybody. CW out.